Hi, Jen Gallacher here today with a Jillibean Soup tutorial. Today we're going to make a ribbon wrapped wreath that features some of our beautiful felt flowers. Now what you will need is you will need a 10-inch wreath form. This is a green styrofoam, and then you'll need a linen or burlap ribbon. You'll need a couple of different felt flowers, and we have a lot of different styles to choose from, and just pick any that you like. And then I have pre-cut some pieces of felt, 2 different shades of green. This is just over-the-counter kind of felt. You can find it at Walmart, Joann's, Michael, wherever you want. And then I've just simply cut them into a variety of leaf shapes. And I do this freehand. So you can do long leaves, you can do fat leaves, whatever you want. But I do like to get a couple of different sizes in there, so it's a little more interesting. You're also going to need a glue gun. So what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping the wreath, and this is going to serve as my back. It really doesn't matter. And I just want to start with enough glue to hold that piece in place. Don't burn yourself. Just kind of squish that out. Now from here, the amount of glue that you add is up to you, but you don't have to add it every little bit. Let's pull off some of those extra strings. So the key here is to wrap and overlap the ribbon so that these seams stay rather flat, and you just keep going around. You want to make sure your ribbon is opaque, meaning it's not sheer, because you don't want to see that green kind of foam coming out. You can see here I am not adding any glue here. I started with some glue and I will end with some glue, and then I can add additional glue if I want. So just keep wrapping this around. If at any point you come to a part where it stops overlapping, just go back. I love how quickly these kind of projects come together. So as you are wrapping, make sure you're pulling fairly taut. You want to make sure that the ribbon isn't going to be bulky anywhere and stick out strangely. So keep doing this, fill up your whole wreath piece, and then I'll come back to the very end here and show you what we're going to do next. So this ribbon roll had 9 feet, and that was enough if I carefully wrapped it around to give me plenty. So what you're going to do is on the final wrap it around to the back, and then see how you have this kind of gap here? You're going to fill in the gap. Make sure it gets all overlapped here. And then pull it quite taut. Again, don't burn your fingers, but do kind of press that in. And then let that dry for a little bit. Once that's dry, you want to trim as close to the glue edge as possible. But give it a few minutes to dry before you go in and do that. Okay, I've let it dry for a little while. Again, just come in, and then if you're really picky, just clean up those edges a little bit with some more glue. So turn that over to the back, and then you have the awesome wreath form here. The next thing that we're going to do, and the reason why I have everything kind of pre-cut and ready to go, is I like to build the look of my wreath before I stick anything down. So on the back of our felt flowers, we do have adhesive, but I suggest you add additional adhesive. But what this will do is just by sticking them down, you can kind of start to play with the form a little bit. And I've done this a couple of times, so the stickiness isn't perfect. And then I'll start kind of thinking about, okay, where do I want my felt flowers? And you can see I love the look of the different colors. And I'll just kind of keep building. Go from there. And once I start to get a feel for how I want my wreath to look, this is when I come back with the glue gun. So I know I want this gorgeous kind of fuchsia pink coral flower to be the center of the center of attention rather. And then when I'm placing the blue on, I'm going to kind of come in underneath and squish it. So there's no gaps. Again, adding a little bit of glue. Come in and squish, and we're going to kind of tilt it toward the inside of this wreath so that when I place the white, it can have enough room on the wreath to stick. So add some glue to the white piece. And again, you just kind of want to overlap and kind of control where that glue is going to go. So you can see here, it goes a little bit on the outside, it goes a little bit on the inside. All right, for the leaves, I don't put glue on the entire leaf. I just kind of put it on the edge. And we want to make sure that it goes in. Watch your fingers. Don't burn yourself. And again, the reason why I only put glue on the very tip is because I like to kind of stick things up a little bit. So I don't want it laying completely flat on my wreath, but do give it enough glue so that it sticks on your wreath. You don't want to not do enough. All right, let's come down here and do a few. So much fun, and literally you can just do as many leaves as you want. You could do the entire piece with a bunch of leaves, or leave more of the burlap linen showing. It's totally up to you. And you can change this out by changing out the ribbon. You could do a black striped ribbon or a chevron ribbon. Lots of different options here. The reason why I use two different colors of leaves is because leaves don't typically just stay one color. They have variations of color. And I love that. So I'm going to actually build a little bit here underneath that big coral flower so there isn't kind of a hole there. And I always cut plenty of leaves, and then I just store the extras for my next project. So when you're sitting watching TV one night, maybe catching up on your Netflix, just take a second and just do projects like this, like cut your leaves. Add a few more leaves here, and just to finish it off. One more up here. I love the feel of felt, and I love that because we have felt flowers, then felt leaves just look so great. All right, so again, you could just keep going as long as you want. Now, the fun thing about these wreaths is you can determine where the top is. So I like, for some reason, I almost always have my focal point on the left of my wreath. You could have it at the bottom. You could have it at the top, or you could have it on this side, and it doesn't matter. And you know, actually, now that I turned it, I kind of like it on this side, so maybe we'll do that. So I've taken another piece of ribbon and I've matched it to the blue. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a little hanger. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can wrap it around and then attach it this way. But I like to do this particular one this way. So we probably only need just a little bit here, maybe 5 or 6 inches. And we're going to create a loop. And you'll want your loop to be wherever you think the top of the wreath will be. So I'll add just a little dab of glue here. Press that down. Once I'm assured that it's nice and tight and sticking, I'll add a little bit more. And this is where the rest of the loop will come. Careful you don't burn your fingers. Then trim off any excess because you don't want this showing on the front. And I'm using fabric scissors for this. And then let it dry, but what this will do is this will create a loop for the top of your wreath so you can hang it on your door. So be sure to check out all of our felt flowers. They are in the store, and then think of different ways that you can incorporate them. This is a great spring or summer project, and it only takes a few minutes, and it only takes a few key pieces to make. So thank you for joining us for this Jillibean Soup tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website for additional inspiration.